Servus Freunde, mein Name ist Jimmy Cage. Oh, Buddy! Buddy?
Jetzt mal, diese Brille fällt auf jeden Fall runter.
Rolling, Sir! Servus Freunde, my name is Jimmy Cage.
And I'm Deniz, the Buddymeister.
We have reviewed almost 500 indie movies on the channel, and today's movie has been on our watch list for a very long time. So we were quite happy when one of our awesome Asana Master Tier supporters picked it for us to review. Ravi has chosen the 2013 Tamil language neo-noir crime thriller Onaayum Aattukkuttiyum, or The Wolf and the Goat. It was written and directed by Mysskin, who also stars in the titular role as the wolf. This was the second film directed by Mysskin that we have watched. Years ago, for one of our Halloween specials, we did Pisazu, which I think we liked a lot because it was a very fresh take on the horror genre.
Yep.
And yeah, we like that movie a lot. Now, with this one, there has to be a little disclaimer. Usually, we watch a movie, each one on their own, and then like 2 or 3 days later, we record a review. Unfortunately, we both were sick. And for me, it has been, I think, 3.5 weeks since I saw this film. I think for you, a week.
Yeah, 1.5 maybe, yeah.
So gladly, I made some notes back then. And I hope I can recollect everything important that I thought.
I remember everything.
Perfect. Then maybe you can do the major part of this review. We will see. Buddy, can you tell me a little bit about the story?
Yeah, so...
before you start,
yeah.
Let me say, this one got positive reviews when it was released. It did all right at the box office, but apparently ever since it has gathered a big cult following. And honestly, I can totally see why this is the kind of movie that has a cult following. Now, back to you.
Maybe people can tell us if it's the wolf and the goat or the wolf and the lamb, because I've read both, so maybe you can use both.
Says one, subtitle says something else.
But I've read both. So the story of the movie is: young student Chandru saves a man from certain death, not knowing that that man is a fugitive from the police who apparently killed dozens of people. And it turns out that not only the police were and are after that man, but also a mysterious second party headed by a man called Tamba. That's that's for me.
Yeah, that's great. So cast or
the movie is. Oh, hey, I haven't. Normally you.
Yeah.
Okay. The movie is starring Shri in the leading role. We know Shri from Managaram.
Yes.
Directed by Lokesh Kanagaraj.
Yeah, his debut, I think.
Which is quite a similar movie to this one.
In many regards.
Onaayum Aattukkuttiyum. And it also stars Mysskin himself.
Yes.
As the mysterious man who's saved from certain death.
Exactly. I think this is a movie that's unlike any other movies I have seen. This is...
that's something good, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. I mean, this one has a special feeling and approach. Certainly kind of a surreal touch. If you're maybe harsher or meaner, you could say some of it is just so unrealistic or maybe even silly. But I think it's more in that surreal category. This has a weird atmosphere and tone. And that, for me, kind of worked to some degree and made me look past certain things that I thought were too much. This one, it plays more like a fairy tale.
I wrote that down too.
Fairy tale or
a dark fairy tale.
excuse me, or fable, also because the wolf and the lamb or goat, like kind of a fable. And you have to keep that in mind. It has a lot that I liked. And I will come back to that. But with that being said, I can't really say that I liked it overall. It lost me at some point. And as it progressed, I became less and less forgiving with the stuff I saw. And in the end, it's different. It's eccentric. It has a special mood, but the little story it has also for me really kind of dragged. The characters didn't do that much for me. The overacting was sometimes unbearable, I think. A lot I found too silly and to some parts too melodramatic, especially the stuff with the blind. And the music was really like hit and miss.
Yeah.
So I will go into the positives, but for me, that's where I begin this review.
So
I hope you liked it way more.
This is going to be another one of those boring reviews.
Where
no, it's not, because I like this movie.
Nice, really?
Yeah,
great.
I was really into it.
Nice.
Yeah,
I hope so.
I was really into it. Like you said, this is a dark fairy tale. It sometimes plays out like a long, very long nightmare.
Yeah.
Especially for our main character, Shri.
Yeah.
Chandru. Shri is the actor.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of it reminded me, of course, of Pisazu because of this very distinct style that Mysskin uses, like to how he frames his shots and how I don't know. I think this strange feeling of maybe it really is the framing, or maybe it's the way that we just have like a few characters. There are only a few characters. I don't know. I like that very much. Some shots are really beautiful, I thought, because of this, like, we're in, where is it shot? In Chennai, and the Chennai streets by night, and this loneliness that it's supposed to bring across, and probably some of those streets were just...
I think they just filmed there.
Yeah, they just filmed there sometimes. Maybe sometimes they closed the street or something, and that's why there were no people, but it fits to the story and this movie. And the thing I liked about this movie that you maybe couldn't forgive later on is like this movie like makes it, when you got into it, like maybe 20-30 minutes, you realize that this movie made its own rules. It made its own rules, and it's just like lives by them and plays by them. So everything that happens in this movie, if it makes sense or not, if it just annoys you, or if it's like some actions these characters take, or some things that the police ask from Chandru, it really is silly, but it kind of worked for me because it's just this like isolated movie story. Yeah. And for me, it really felt like a movie, you know? It's just an encapsulation of having fun telling this story. Yeah. Be it as absurd as it may be, because like there are a lot of questionable characters in this movie, and I don't know if I'm supposed to like Wolf or not. Even if I like Chandru is maybe the only character who just gets thrown into this, and he just has to get out somehow. Yeah. But it worked for me, and it worked for me because this movie's just also always driving forward. It's always going forward.
But very slowly.
Yeah, but maybe very slowly, but it works because it also feels like a handmade action thriller movie in that case. It's not... This movie showed me again that you don't need like big CGI or like 5,000 cars following somebody. Yeah. You just need a train maybe. Yeah. Or you just need someone riding on a bike and just two people following each other. If it's executed well, it works. And it does in this case.
Yeah, it's totally low budget.
Yeah.
And I like that it's almost completely set at night.
Yeah. In one night or maybe two, I don't know.
Yeah, mostly just one night, which is something I always, if they put it off, that's great. So great neo-noir atmosphere. I also like the beginning, because it was just so unusual how our protagonist just finds this body on the street, and he's a good guy, so he wants to help, but nobody wants to help him, and he goes to the hospital. No one helps him. I thought it was such a nice critique on society, but also really an unusual and atmospheric beginning. I like that. Then there's this operation, and I thought, they are really going for this, and should I really believe in what I'm seeing right now? But because it's at the beginning of the movie, I was still in it, and I thought, okay, unusual, kind of cool. Looking back at the movie now, I'm maybe thinking more like it's just really silly, this whole operation, and how he's calling the other guy, and
the doctor,
just doing it in his room, and then the guy just vanishes the next day. I don't know if it really worked for me, but when I watched it, the beginning, I was still on board and thought, well, this is a special movie. What else? I mean, the camera work you already said. There are some beautiful shots. It was done by Balaji V. Ranga, and it certainly creates its own unique atmosphere. And it's able to create its own thing with the limited budget, for sure.
Yeah. And I think you already mentioned the music, which is hit and miss. And it was hit and miss for me also, because there's really a lot of music in there. And the music style is changing so much that sometimes you get like this electronic dance music, then you get some more dramatic and melancholic violin music, and there's everything. Music was obviously composed by Ilayaraja. But sometimes it seems like it's like a maybe pre-composed music that's also used. I don't know.
It has.
And there's a lot of music from scene to scene changing, and it sometimes over dramatizes the movie in a way that actually did work for me sometimes, because it added to that strange atmosphere.
It has an operatic feeling sometimes.
Like this because it fit this fairy tale nightmarish feeling of what is going on here, and the music, the artificiality of the music added to this in a nice way.
That's why I said it's hit and miss for me. I wrote down here there are no songs to be found in the movie, but you get a background score that's almost more like a foreground score, because it's so dominant.
It's also really loud as well.
It's really loud, and some pieces are very good and very moody, but they are, like you said, there's a lot of music, and like half of it was just took me out of it. There are a lot of cool and interesting moments in this movie that mostly worked for me, but especially towards the end, it was crossing that line. Spoiler alert. But at the end, the stuff with the ninjas at the parking garage.
I mean, I like the thing in the park. I like the parking garage as a setting.
The
two guys with swords are a bit stupid.
And how he
fights them with the jacket,
and how the girl is tied to him and walking behind him like he's a wolf with a tail, stuff like that. It was just
that's right.
But it was just too silly for me. At that point, I felt like I thought, what am I watching here? This is not working for me anymore.
It worked. It still worked. It kind of worked for me, because maybe I was more forgiving, because I really liked some of the action scenes in between, or some of the more thrilling scenes that played out really nice. I also like this scene where he hijacks the train, and they are like waiting on the platform, waiting for the train. That's really kind of a gripping scene.
I think just my main problem, probably number one, for me the story really dragged, because at first it's like this mystery, who is this mysterious wolf character, but you kind of know that there's more to him, and that he's probably some good guy, or that he's not the ruthless, brutal, evil villain. There's probably something more to it, and you're just waiting for the reveal to happen. And then we get, of course, this famous almost one take where he tells the story, but then it was so melodramatic with the blind people. It was just too much for me, and
it's definitely too long. The movie is 140 minutes long. I wrote down in it, maybe you cut 20 minutes, maybe even more. I think for me it almost worked with this 140, but of course, if you cut 20 minutes, it would have been tighter. It would have been worked better as an action thriller. And I agree. It's like it's sometimes crosses that line of being a bit too silly, or a bit too self-indulgent in this. Oh, like, let's do something cool with swords, and let's do something cool with guns and knives and all this. I mean, there are some other cool scenes in there. There is like Aditya Menon, the actor, plays one of those biker assassins. We've seen him in Chhatrapati not too long ago, and he's the guy where he stops the policeman. Yeah, or he comes across the policeman who stopped the other biker, and he just like holds the gun on him. Like for the scene is like for 2 minutes or so, where the other guy like just packs his stuff. And it's like this, you hear the bike, and he just looks at it, and you don't know if he's going to shoot or if he's not. And he shoots, of course, at the end, but it's a very tense scene. I was like, it's kind of nice that it really like dragged it out for 2 minutes. Yeah. Just this scene. Yeah. But maybe you were out of
I was kind of out of it at that point. I felt all the hostage stuff got kind of repetitive with Chandru's free, then he's tied up again, and Chandru, I'm sorry, but at first I liked the character, and at first I liked the performance because he was in such a stressful situation with the body, and no one wanted to help him, and with the big eyes, and it worked for me. But it's kind of the same thing throughout the entire movie with Jolie's performance. And it was just annoying. It was too much overacting for me. And
I can understand. I think as I said, it would have worked better if the movie was just cut down like 20 minutes. But I think for me, it worked that way because it always had this bad dream nightmare feeling where you just can't get out. And so this repetitive thing almost works in favor of being like this nightmare. But I can totally agree with you in this.
I really wanted to like this, but in the end, when it was over, I was kind of happy. It was the very end. It was just so... The staging, it was so obvious. It was so in the parking garage, one person here, one there, one in the middle. It was so theatrical. It was so melodramatic, and I was like, come on, this is just, we're trying so hard.
Yeah, and Tamba being like the crazy villain in the wheelchair, who could have been like a more profound character.
For sure.
He's only crazy or only like weird, and that's it. He could have been a better villain. Yeah.
Isn't there also like a policeman who's more into it and wants to do a good? I don't know. It was 3.5 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, policemen get shot all the time in this movie. There are so many police is killed all the time, and it also makes it strange somehow to like Wolf or like any of these people because they just shoot everybody. Yeah. For me, it wasn't problem. It was no problem because I thought, this is how this movie works.
It's a Neo-Noir Thriller.
Yeah, but still,
Anything else?
No, but I kind of.
No, it's totally fine. I'm really happy that you liked it.
I kind of liked it because it was just going forward. It just doesn't look back. Maybe even if it was repetitive, it just had some fun new ideas to like get around this repetitiveness, and so. Yeah, it kind of.
Yeah. I mean, this is another one of those really low-budget Tamil movies, like from the 2000s, 2010s, where people were able to try different things. And I really appreciate that. And in the past, it worked for me in some other movies. Yeah. Didn't work for you in some other movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
But with this one, I'm happy that it worked for you. Yep. I was like a little bit annoyed. Okay. So, what would you say in German?
Onaayum Aattukkuttiyum hat mir richtig gut gefallen. Gut geschrieben, spannend inszeniert und vor allem immer treibend und ohne Pause nach vorne gehend. Der Film stellt seine eigenen Regeln auf und hat Spaß damit.
Nice. Onaayum Aattukkuttiyum ist ein unkonventioneller, frischer, surreal angehauchter und märchenhafter Neo-Noir Thriller, der bei mir mit fortschreitender Laufzeit, aber leider zu sehr ins übertriebene, langgezogene, melodramatische und alberne abgedriftet ist. I'm happy that you liked it, and therefore I'm kind of harsh and critical with my rating here. I give it just a 5 out of 10. It's more like 5.4, but I don't do that.
Okay. For me, it's 8 out of 10.
Nice.
It's more like 7.8, but I don't do that either.
I think
the great disparity between the two.
Maybe English Winglish.
I gave English Winglish 5 and you gave it 8.
Yeah, I gave it 8. Okay. Yeah.
But we don't
today
know about
today probably more like a 7, but
Okay. So, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Did you know that there are only 200,000 to 250,000 gray wolves left on Earth.
That's a shame.
Whoa, wait. And that there are only about 290 red wolves left.
How many? 200?
290. 290
Okay.
red wolves, 250,000 gray wolves.
Okay. Probably all in captivity, I guess, with a number that low.
Yeah. Oh, that's some trivia. That you see?
Yeah,
It hit him.
Yeah, it hit me. Yeah.
With a gut punch.
Nice. So please let us know in the comments below what you think about Onaayum Aattukkuttiyum.
Yeah, it's that. It's nice.
Well, wasn't that right? Wasn't that correct?
I don't know. I don't speak Tamil.
Onaayum Aattukkuttiyum. Hopefully.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. You can hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, and also on Patreon, simply at TheJimmyCage.
And you can hit me up on Twitter at the Buddymeister.
And if you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like.
And make sure you hit that bell for all we have to tell.